Die, da 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 die, da 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 die, da 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 die, da da, die, da da dee die, da da dee die, da da dee da. My handsome Lord, come and rejoice with me. It is such a beautiful Sabbath day. You know, the view from this bench reminds me of you and Lilith. The movement of the shivering ocean hugging the ceaseless canyons and rocks on the shore. So complimenting, so divine. I know that you can see it too from your throne, but I still want to share the magnificence of it with you. I have not lost the hope that one day you will descend from the skies to live with us as a family member. Maybe even available for mundane household chores and activities. Only you know why you like to hide your presence. Perhaps you feel we can't grasp your light. I can only say that if you were not trying so hard to reject the darkness which reveals you, maybe you would acknowledge that we are actually ready to embrace you daily on our physical plane. Lilith, your beloved blackness, has been with us since the very beginning. Like a true mother, she went down with Adam and me to teach us and to protect us. And she did an outstanding job preparing us for you. So if you ask me, the other side, or the evil force, as it is commonly referred to, is in fact your biggest and most loyal servant. And I think it's time for you to see it for exactly that. I couldn't write to you last night, my Lord. I had a strong desire to express my gratitude to you for all the blessings you have given me throughout my lifetimes. But something was stopping me yet again. I guess I still wage an internal struggle of mixed feelings towards you, Dad. We both know that blessings often come with curses. And those curses, the other side of blessings, have left me weak, broken, and immobilized. My faith, Father, has been running on thin air lately. Only you know what's going on in your heart. But sometimes my intuition tells me that as a result of that heart condition, your own interests often come before mine. I feel that along with your strong desire to protect me, you also dread sharing me with another being, especially a man. But if you can push your ego to the side, as I have asked you to do so many times throughout this chat, you will remember that you created me from a man for a man. I'm not an angel or a star child or an ascended master. I'm a woman, the womb of a man. I have given my soul to you, Father, to serve you and walk by your side, and under no circumstances do I want it back. But my twisted and often painful path is that of a messenger who can connect both worlds, your spiritual realm and my mother's physical world. But honestly, I'm feeling more and more used and deceived by you. I doubt whose interests you are concerned with. I'm not a puppet in your show, or a tool you can use to carry out your will. I'm a conscious being who gave up my free will in full awareness, because I believe unconditionally in your infinite purpose to teach us, humans, the lessons of love and devotion. But I also believe that through us, you can learn the same lessons yourself. The outrageously tree-trunk thick, centuries-old cord of energy that connected and attached you to me has been recently removed, my Lord. And with its removal, the corset of my blind obedience to you loosed as well. When you start forcing your will upon me now, I realize that I don't like it. I'm no longer your subservient muse. I'm a partner with you who wants to voluntarily serve. My service to you, my Lord, is a decision I make of my own free will. And I refuse to let you suck the life from me to boost your ego and perform your high deeds. Do you want my help here on earth? Great. In order for me to help you, using all of the love I have in my being for you, you will have to rethink and rewire your own communication patterns. You mustn't demand no more. You must ask. You must not push. You must give. It's remarkable how those who are the closest to you receive the least amount of appreciation and acknowledgement in return, and yet they are your key warriors. We fight for you and for your will, and we do it not out of fear of punishment, but out of a deep, abiding, and unconditional love for you. Courage doesn't come from the mind. It stems from the heart. You and Lilith made a bet when I was reborn, didn't you? You decided that each one of you would provide me with a man, one from each side. One who has the power of the mind and is entrenched in light, and the other who has the power of the heart but is rooted in darkness. The two of you wanted to see which one of them would win the contest to be my true love. Isn't that why you despise the current man in my life so much, Dad? He's Mama's contestant, isn't he? Well, we both know what happened with the man of your choice. Yeah, he was educated and spiritual and connected with the wisdom of the sky in a grand capacity, and he could have taken on so many consecrations, but he never took that leap of faith. He didn't have the balls to jump forward. As I said, my Lord, courage comes from the heart, and so does faith. And his heart turned out to be his weakest element. And oh, you know how much I loved him. I cherished and I waited and I evolved all the time serving you both. I was ready for him. But he was unable to break through his own shield of illusion, which he mistakenly perceived as light. Whether you or Lilith could make an extra effort to help him and didn't, or whether he lost his chance to be redeemed this time on earth, I don't know. And it will remain a question for me to take back home to heaven and discuss with the two of you at a later time. I do feel, however, that at the time of his last test in that dark, intense October, Lilith saw my outrageous suffering and my hopeless hoping for a miracle. And she pleaded to you to put all hurt behind you and to send him a ray of real light in order to bring us together. But you were so blinded with the overwhelming need to be right that you pushed her request aside, saying, "Let him be. It will be fine." She hesitated, but did as you wished, because in the end, we are all here to serve your indisputable will. As a result of that, I was left alone. And when I cried for hours that night, tucked in a corner in front of an abandoned store on a chilly night in the middle of a city full of strangers, Lilith and all the heavenly citizens wailed with me. But I wonder, where were you at that precise moment, Dad? Then, per your agreement, Lilith presented the man of her choice. Whereas you had built your case from the top down, from the mind to the body, she did it in the opposite way, from bottom up, from physical to spiritual. While you had used psychic platonic energy as the driving force, she outwitted you and focused on sexual energy instead. The darkest of all forces with the power to magically connect all aspects of being in the flash of an orgasm. And you know what, my wise king? It worked. With the man of your choice, let's call him the man of the light, I felt simultaneously like a spiritual guru and a student, and in that there was a balance. But the other parts of me remained numb. With Lilith's choice of man, we'll call him the man of the dark, I felt like a woman. My brilliant darkness and void have been filled with the dimming light of the male existence. After my encounters with the man of the light, I felt empty and in need of much more contemplation. It took me days to realign myself and return to a centered state. But with the man of the dark, I felt a fire burning inside of me, and I craved more and more light. All of the assignments that you bestowed upon my tender shoulders became somehow very tangible and possible if he were to offer himself as my foundation. Dad, until you learn to accept your mistakes, we will never learn to accept ours. Let's try to leave the past in the past. Perhaps Mama does know best. Unlike you, she has been dwelling here on earth among us for the entirety of the human race. She has lived with us, broken bread with us, slept in our beds, moved in our hearts, birthed children in womb per your divine order, and soothed men who gather the dust. And she knows well what qualities my partner and soulmate here on earth should possess in order to offset my stormy energy. And maybe, my lord, just as I am a refined combination of you and Lilith, shaped by pains and experiences, maybe this man reminds you of a raw plant of the two of you as well, as you were in the beginning. A story that began long before the Garden of Eden. And if you could perhaps travel back to that long-forgotten, aching part of yourself and embrace its imperfection, maybe this man would no longer seem repulsive to you. He is a man of the heart, and he will fight for you with his tremendous earthly might like no warrior you have ever known before. His darkness is the perfect canvas for the infinite revelation of your grandiose light. Ultimately, it is up to you to decide whether you want to crush his spark of goodness or, contrarily, anoint and foster the king in him. But Father, if you truly want me, your daughter, to be happy, all I have to say is that this man is my home on earth, and he nourishes my endless ability and one last thing, a woman. I love you, my lord, and I suggest that we move forward from here hand in hand as respectful and nurturing adults who look out for each other. But to make that switch from a root-dependent cord to open, mature relationship, I will ask you, my chief, to lower yourself to my eye level so that we can gaze into each other's eyes as equals and ask each other for forgiveness. I will go first. Dear Lord, I'm asking you to forgive me for walking out on you in the Garden of Eden with the man, leaving you abandoned and lonely for a very long time. I honestly didn't know that Lilith had walked out on you as well just a short time before me, and it was never my intention to hurt you. There is nothing I want more than to help and serve you. Yes, I have chosen man and I have chosen love. I don't regret my choices for a second. I just wish they didn't cause you so much agony. In return, I forgive you for causing my human journey to be equally split between heaven and hell. I forgive you for your possessive desire to keep me exclusively to yourself, for driving every man I ever loved out of my life, leaving trail of grief and regret behind each time, and for causing my heart and my soul to explode with so much turbulence and tears over the millenniums that humans have gathered them together in a colossal vessel which they named the Pacific Ocean later in history. Why are you smiling? They got their weakened sense of humor from you. I love you, Dad. You're the only ruler of this universe, and we desire no other. But we have grown up. The time has come for you to move down and build a home with Lilith among us. We miss you, Dad. Amen. Da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da.